Yeah! Good morning. Come allez-vous? How are you? I guess we should get on with it. Guten Morgen. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance. Please let me know if you're risk on or risk off today. What is your strategy for Monday? Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. But please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne. Nice to meet you. Some good mate. So what do you want to do today, huh? Well, we got a big week. Wednesday's a big day. Yeah, we got some news out of the UK as well and out of Euro. Not till Thursday, but Wednesday's the big day of the week, which predicts the following Wednesday. So can't wait to see what happens. Along the way, we'll do some technical analysis. Let me know how you want me to help. I am here to serve you. I have about just over 20 years of experience as a financial markets trader. Before that, I worked in the venture capital world. Before that, I was a high-tech entrepreneur and coached startup CEOs. Before that, I was in the nonprofit world, running an organization of 3,000 people. And before that, I worked at NASA. Before that, I had paper routes. So anyways, if you want to know about how paper routes, I can help you. So anyways, I'm here to share and for us to learn and grow together. I've been doing this a long time, and it's still very interesting. It is not boring. So anyways, we'll go through the journey of Forex and trading and investing together and survive and thrive. So then let me know what's on your mind, how I can help, and I will do my best to serve you. Okay. Coolio, coolio, coolio. Take a look at Trader's Way, please. I recommend them. Yep. Again, you've probably heard the story a million times. Swiss National Bank drove big brokers out of business, and apparently those big brokers were trading against their clients. Trader's Way, being a tiny boutique foreign exchange trading firm, was perfectly fine. So I contacted them, I'm like, how is that even possible? And they're like, we don't trade against our clients. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. So anyways, if you want your broker to be trustworthy and ethical, Trader's Way is your choice, and it's my choice as well. Check them out. My phone just buzzed. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, yeah. So I got so much going on and so much work to do. I'm drowning in work. So it's going to be an excellent day. Let's see what's going on in your mind. Let's end the poll. Most people are risk on today. Interesting. Okay. So you're not concerned about Japan raising interest rates by the end of the year? No? Okay, cool. You're not concerned about a default in China? No? All right. You not worried about the Fed raising interest rates more than people think? No? All right, cool. Let's take a look. Let's start with a top. Let's zoom in here on the daily. What do you think about exotics? 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4. Stuck on the top. Remember, this is our projected high for the month. And, well, we spent almost a week there. Very cool. Obviously, other market participants expected it too. Holy smokes, eh? Let me kind of adjust this. And those are the two prices, I think, that people are watching closely. We'll see if this will bust to the upside. If that were to happen, I would assume CPI on Wednesday's high. Okay, so I don't expect a big break up until Wednesday, but there could be a break down, maybe. The idea is if you're short, you're earning a lot of interest. The risk that is that you're taking is that we have a higher high. So one might assume this. What most people would want would be this. This might just be an old dead trend, because if you look at it this way, the trend has been down a long time, but this is the first higher high that we've ever had in like a year. So be careful, bro. Be careful, right? If this one fails and we're up here, this might be sort of the trade for 2023 is over kind of thing. Done and dusted. Put it in the history books. Okay? Got to have a kill switch. That might be it. So this is one last hurrah. But you're like, Wayne, I don't trade the daily chart. I only trade the weekly chart. Oh, okay. Well, that says up to 18 and then down. So 17 and a half, if that don't hold, big deal. It's a big deal. That's all I'm saying. It's a big deal, right? Oh, faux show. Okay, looking at the stock markets, these are going to be our leading indicator today. Okay. I'm hoping for S&P up. Looks like most of you are as well. So I have two floors, so to speak. Well, floor and a ceiling, really. Floor, ceiling, and the floor held. So we have the double bottom. Oops, make that pink. There we go. We have the double bottom, higher high, higher low, higher high maybe? For that, we need a low CPI on Wednesday. If we get that, everything is right as rain. And then we will have like floor, ceiling. Then ceiling becomes floor, ceiling. And then the ceiling up here probably becomes a floor. I say it like Guy Lafleur. David, it's in the course. It's the whole point of the course. Risk, reward, risk, reward. Just, just redo the day trading course. It's in there very specifically. It's kind of like the whole point. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, take a look at FTSE. Okay, just FTSE. Look at this outlier, just cray, huh? So we're back in on the average price. Don't know what to make of it, honestly. But right now, for the last 3-4 days, risk on. Now, look, the reason we had a pop and a stop is this is a problem. So it's what happens next. But seasonally, I'd like to see some up. Emotionally, I'd like to see some up. I'd like some risk on, baby. I'm just like you. I'm sort of flat to risk on. By the way, at Investor Bootcamp, I'm starting the research phase of developing a stock trading course, which will lead into a portfolio management course. Well, construction and management. You have to construct it first. And so I'm going to put in quite a bit of thought. But let me know if you're into that. I didn't do a summer school this year. I apologize. I've just had a very busy. It's hard being a male supermodel. So anyways, if you want to do like a fall, I guess school's starting, right? It starts early in Georgia, but for most places, I guess school started. You want to do a fall school? Let's say basic stock trading and then advanced portfolio construction and management. Anybody into that? Osamu, yep. Yeah. Aussie. Ooh, oh, really? From there to there? Really? I guess so. That's not what I expected. Let me kill this. Heck yeah. Yeah, cash is in. What I wanted to do was more like this. I'm just wondering about that. Like, are we going to get something like that? Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty hopeful. So I'm going to let everybody else lead the way. Ueda over the weekend said that they might jack up interest rates all the way to 0. And the market gapped down, and then probably people said, wait, what? Jack them up to 0? Oh, maybe it's not that big of a deal. So anyways, if you look at this hourly chart, we are now above the future 21. Look, we've been below for days, except for here, a little pop, and now maybe a double bottom, maybe, I don't know, a little risk on, I don't know. So that's it, 2 people, that's it. 2 people are interested in a stock trading course. You don't want me to put together a course on trading stock indices? Really? Thank you. It's kind of hoping for dozens of people like, hey, oh, finally. Yeah, Sky Killer asks every meeting. No, I mean, valuations. I mean, depends on what you mean by valuations. You mean like price earnings ratios? You mean various ratios? Cap M. Yeah. But I'm not an individual stock picker though, Richard. I'm a macro trader, and that's, you could argue, micro. So it wouldn't be that, but we would touch on it, let's say. I would kind of like lead up into like business cycle type investment strategies. Oops, I forgot to, which just reminded me, I covered something in Quant Box today, and then I realized I didn't upload the Quant Box video. So let me remind myself to do that. Let me get that product. Quant Box Live. Let me download the video recordings. Cool. Yeah, I forgot to post that. So, you know, I touched a little bit on that earlier. Now, Richard says, so indices. Well, yeah, but of course, I mean, look, you could trade the S&P 500 like you trade euro dollar and gold. I mean, that is no different. It's just another asset. But why? And that's a bigger question. So yeah, indices, but why and when and which? Okay. All right, so I got that. Hang on, maybe I'll just do it. YouTube. I could probably just do it. Hang on, let me just pop this while I'm thinking about it. You know, I just have too many things going on in my brain, and I can't multitask. I'm incapable of that, so I just have to do this. Hang on. So now I can't do my video. So you guys hang on. So I got to go upload video. And then I got my new video, which is 9/11. And it's uploading. Hang on, almost done. See? Copy that, reuse, great, next, next, next. Release it today at 10 a.m. There we go. See, I'm almost done. See? Look, I got it done. It wasn't a big deal. Schedule. There you go. So anyways, I did cover it a little bit in Quant Box today. Quant Box Live, Quant Box. Guess I could show you that channel. Let me go view. I need to do it. Your channel. Here you go. It's not there though, is it? Where's the premiere? Interesting. The premiere isn't there. The one I just uploaded, it's not there. So anyways, check it out. Let me see why it's not there. Would I not save something? Let me go back. Oh, it's up pending. It's pending. Anyways, check it out. Today's video will be up there shortly. It's still pending just because I just uploaded it seconds ago. So I'll give you the link. Of course, if you subscribe, you'll get notified. But every day at 10 a.m., a new Quant Box video is released. I do these live at 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, I did mention it, Heather. It's not my company. Problem is most people don't care because they don't have big accounts, right? So it's either a broker's prerogative or it comes down to liquidity partners. But in that case, I don't think it's a liquidity partner issue. Sometimes it is, of course. But anywho, quantbox.co, every yo. Was that right, Sky Killer? Okay. So anyways, looking at S&P 500, it looks okay so far, huh? Looks okay. What if we go to commodities in general, take a look on gold. So on Friday, right, I was paying close attention to this price level on gold Friday afternoon because it's the 50% of the move up. And you remember I'm long gold. And so Friday was great until it wasn't great. And so now today has been great and maybe won't be great anymore. But what, of course, I'd like to see is some more risk on, like most of you. 69% of you are risk on. So anyways, this is what I'm looking for today. Wouldn't that be nice, eh? And you can already see, or you can see, and I'll make this a little fatter. I've already drawn it out. You can see I've already drawn it out days ago, maybe even weeks ago. So that's what I'm looking for today. What do you guys think? Is gold going to go up today? Hey? Well, why don't I ask you? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. Yeah. Will gold go up today? All right, let's see what's on your mind. This puts it into context. So obviously it needs a breakout to the upside for that to work for me. Okay, half of you voted, and the other half have broken thumbs or index fingers. My mouse broke, Wayne. As soon as you popped the poll, my mouse broke. It's because you grip your mouse too hard, man. You need to relax. All right, let's see what you think. All right. Half of you think I'm all right. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. Thank you for voting. Okay. So maybe we can climb that wall, that wonder wall of XAU. Slowly walking down the hall. Here's another look at the S&P 500. Okay. And it's gone eight. What do you think? Faster than a cannonball. Let's not do that way. There's just too many of these. We were getting All right. Like that. Can I look at euro dollar? Okay. Euro dollar, Aussie dollar, euro dollar. Boo, 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 do, 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 do. All right. So today's up should be above 107.12. Let's check out the moving averages. We're farting on the moving average now. What about the 4H? And yeah, no. So anyways, rock in a hard place. Pivots say down this way. Right? Weekly says this way from a bearish point of view. And the moving averages are very bearish in the 4-hour. There's no doubt about it. And the bulls are thinking this. Which one's right? Well, you know what? Probably both. The issue is timing. So my guess is down and then up. Okay? But whatever. We'll see. I'm long and I can't lose any money, so what do I care? Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C all busted out a long time ago. Okay. Holy smokes. You might have been on Plan B. There was no, Plan A never got an entry. Plan B, you might have had it and then lost it. And Plan C, I don't know. It depends on what your trigger was. You might have had a Plan C and had that collapse on you. So now you sit and wait. So I don't know. Like I was saying last week in one of our meetings, sometimes it's better to have a good price than a decent strategy. Like, I'm in at a good price. It's not a great strategy, but I'm in at a good price. I'm not in the middle of this. I'm at the bottom of this range. So if our destiny is that we're going to drop to 106.5, I'm not going to be in this trade. I might pick it up down there and try again. But if 107 holds and we're working our way up, I'm going to make money. So, you know, I suppose I could have been, you might argue I could have been a little lower, you know, 106.90. But the thing is, by the time you get confirmation and cover your spread and all, like I think my entry is pretty freaking good. But I don't think it's a great strategy, but it's a great tactics. You see what I mean? So I'm like, I'm hero or zero and just like, I might get lucky. But I could see this coming down, but it's worth a shot, I guess, right? So down into the monthly target 106.5. And then, and that we'd be feasting either before CPI or after CPI. And then depending on the outcome of that, maybe we get long or we get out. But right now I'm like, you know, it's a shot in the dark kind of thing. I'm like way early. There's no reversal pattern. The support is mediocre at best. But is that a 2155 cross? Like, dude, like there's a small chance this works out. You know what I mean? Who knows? There's a small chance it works out. And great. You can see Aussie. Okay, something very similar on Aussie going on. Okay. Look at my support line. Boom. Okay. So if you are trading like I teach you, okay, this is like your generalized area of opportunity. There was a pullback, obviously not this time frame. So you got to find your time frame. Doesn't look like anything really. 4 hour 5, some point. Okay. But anyways, it's trying to get bullish. This is that orange line I drew last week. You're like, oh, snap. Well, somebody's scalping a bottom, right? So the reason I drew this the way it's drawn is we were talking about how do you enter a double bottom? Or in this case, a potential triple bottom. How do you actually enter it? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And yeah, yep. Seems like that's happened, huh? So what do you think of Biden's performance at the G20? Did you watch his press conference? He was talking about the Cowboys and the Indians in the John Wayne movie. The press, I heard like laughter, a little bit of laughter. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right, Heather. Well, the weird thing about that is, the leader of the free world, right after him talking about the John Wayne movie, then he stumbles back to the microphones and he's like, "I only do what I'm told." Like, what was that? I think someone was saying something in his ear, like, "Stop it." Yeah, Lucas says, I can't believe the handlers still put him out there. But like Trump was funny that way too. He'd often say stupid things. And then Obama was a great orator. But then like, I also remember Bush Jr., right? George W. And he would read the script and then all of a sudden he would stop. There would be like a 2-second pause, a 3-second pause. And you remember he'd lean on one hip and then he's like, I'm just gonna wing it. And the stock market would crash. Like, here it comes. And it was so funny because everybody could see it. And you can, and so W's handlers would go like, no. So even if you're a Republican, come on, you got to remember and the markets would crash. It was really funny. So, yeah, he's like, I'm just going to tell it like it is, right? Like a Texan. You're like, no, he's not going to go off script, right? Read the teleprompter. But anyways. But you do hear Biden say it a lot, like, I just follow orders, I just do what I'm told, right? You hear this a lot, and I'm like, what's he talking about? Anyways, anywho, you got to watch it, whatever. So we got some up there. That's good. Some up here. That's good. Remember, this is the biggest thing I'm bearish on. So I have it going up. And my short price would be about 59.5. Would be great. But we're in the sell zone now. So you could just be like on the Cinco waiting for the rollover. Johnny Dollar says they did cut Biden off at the end. Yeah, I guess. Okay. So remember, if you have this point of view, you should be looking that you want to see it stop going up and roll over and become bearish. So I'm not looking at this as bullish, although you could. What I'm trying to show you here is your bigger point of view is higher up, and that as you approach, let me do this a different way. Let me just do it a different way. If you're going to play the lower low, okay, then set it up lower high, 382, 50%, right? So at some point, what you want to observe, and I'll have it go higher before it goes lower. Let's do it this way. You might sit here for the next few hours setting up a trade that looks more like this. And then you take it down based on a 4H going this way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Talking about Biden again, and, every president stumbles in their own way. It shows you that they're real people. But you know what really scared me or hit me hard is MacArthur. Did you see his video? And I know he froze a few weeks ago, but he did it again like last week. And when you see it, I don't know any other way of saying it, but it's so real. It's sad. Sad, but I don't mean in a political way. It's so human that it's just terrible to see. What did I say? Did I say MacArthur? Who was it? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm brain farting too. But it's so startling that, oh my God, you just feel, McConnell, thank you, McConnell. McConnell. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about? Oh, it just shakes you. And again, I don't mean politically. You're just human. There's from a human point of view. I said MacArthur. Yeah, I'm sorry. You just feel bad for everyone because you run out of time. Yeah, you just run out of time. Right? Life's hard. It's like Beethoven going deaf. You're like, really? Let's see if I can find the one. I'll probably get slapped. That's the first one. That's the second one. Are they going to be able to show it? Yeah, I'll show this one. I think this is it. Maybe I won't get slapped if I don't run the sound. So he's answering questions. Okay, everything's fine. Look at his eyes. Everything's fine. Okay, he's totally fine. Watch his eyes. And then, whoa, what? He was answering questions. Look at him. Oh my God. I feel so bad. Jeez, that's scary. Oh my God. He's just gone. And then he's back. And you're like, whoa, it's like, it's crazy. But it's so human. You're like, it could be your dad, it could be your uncle, it could be your brother, it could be your husband, it's just, well, here's someone that's dedicated, his life to public service, and you might grumble if you don't, like him politically. I don't know. I don't know him. But you're just like, it's so real and so human. Well, Maida, we see that in lots of areas of power. We see that a lot on the Supreme Court as well, hey, Maida? Where people are hanging on well beyond what they should. And in many cases, you also see that in just regular judgeships. You see there are judges in their 90s, yeah. Well, the problem is, older politicians have experience. I mean, that's the thing. And they understand history. The hard part about younger people is they haven't experienced things before. So, like, having gone back to university in my 40s, being surrounded by 20-year-olds that are reading my history in the history books, like, we studied the great financial crisis of 2008. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? How could this be in the history books? Like, I was there. I did it, right? And so anyway, so it's weird where you think that most people on Wall Street have never been through a recession before, have never seen interest rates at 5% before. Like, what are you talking about? So you don't want all young, because then you're doomed to repeat the same mistakes. But of course, you run out of time. Okay? So anyways, right? Are you looking at this as maybe, based on your 4-hour analysis, maybe you get short? And if so, when? What's going to be your trigger? You're going to wait for a 21.55 cross down? Is the 5-minute good for you or the 15-minute good for you? Which one? Is it going to be a day trade or a scalp? This would be a scalp. This might be a day trade. Because a day trade, for example, you might say, well, then this is the top of the day and you're going to get short. So you're going to trade that as the top, and you're going to point to a bottom. But you're going right, you might argue, but Wayne, this is a higher high. Why wouldn't you be a buyer? We're looking at the 4-hour first and making decisions here on the small time frame. Okay, so I have no problem with you saying long, and that's the easier trade, in fact. So you see this, and this is what you should be doing from that point of view. Okay, perfectly fine. The thing is, I wouldn't buy Kiwi. I have a fundamental bias. So what should I do if I think Kiwi dollar is going to go up like I have in pink? What should I do? Talk to me, Goose. Yes, Maida says, wait, it's not the answer I'm looking for. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's a trick question. Let me rephrase it. I mean, it's not a trick, but it's a trick. It's not a trick, though, because I said, look, I don't want to own Kiwi. So what do I do if I think Kiwi dollar is going to go up? Move on to another asset, like euro dollar. Thank you. There you go. Now you got the train of thought. And so I'm long this asset. You see? And here's your reload. Reload. Okay? Cool. Remember, I actually said 107.15. I'm pretty sure you can rewind it. Okay? Now there's a real top going on here. So now we got to go, right? So you have to discern, like think of it this way, because I just set up a Kiwi dollar short, yet I'm long euro dollar. What am I doing here? I'm saying if it's risk off, I'm going to sell Kiwi dollar. If it's risk on, I want to be long euro dollar. I have different strategies for different scenarios. Since I don't know the future, I need plans and contingency plans. Okay? Okay? You see? That's worth a thumbs up, isn't it? So we gotta add a new X here. our X is moved. So when it comes to Aussie, be interesting to see what happens up there, huh? Okay. So we called this top as it was going up. So it'd be, if there's risk off, that's coming down today. Right now it shows risk on, but maybe things change when the stock market opens. And maybe we'll, I gotta get ready for that. Oh, I forgot. I'm wearing my my favorite shoes. Oh, yeah. 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 You want to see my shoes? I got some shoes. I think you'll like these. You're like, what the hell is he talking about his shoes? Hang on. Check this out. You ready? Let's see if I can get my, I don't know if I can get them in the air. Let's see. You ready? Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's see. You see those? I have to do it this way. What? Huh? Nike Air has nothing on me. I've had these shoes for like 20 years. No, 20. How old am I? 20 years? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. I've had them for, 20 years. I haven't worn them in forever, though. But I forgot I had them on, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, yeah. So, yeah, the springs are so springy that it's amazing. Like when you walk, they go like this, right? Am I still on the? I thought I switched it. Sorry. I thought I switched it. There we go. Sorry. The springs are so springy, but it's not that you walk and they spring. It's when you stand, you can take your toes off the ground while you're standing. Now think of that. You can lean all the way back and it changes your knees and your hips and your lower back and your toes. Now your heels are on the springs and your toes are not touching the ground. They just come off like a millimeter or two. And you're just kind of like, now float. It's kind of interesting the way it changes your posture. And if you've ever had a bad back or bad knees or bad hips, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, it really is cool. All right. So anyway, so just watching that, just watching everything. I think I have an oil trade still on. Let's check out the oil. The oil and S&P 500 up, oil up though. Boo. Looks like we farted around there many times. I might just bail. I'm bored. bored with it. Let me try my oil trading template. Yeah, I'm along the wrong way. 24. I'm just going to bail. I'll come back to it later if I get the opportunity. That's how you take a loss, everybody. What do I got right now? I got 372 still. So I got some babysitting to do. I'll probably do some skippy scalping throughout the day. I got lots going on. So at Investor Bootcamp, I'm setting up the Council of Investment Advisors. We have several people that have already joined and several people that say they're joining. So that is happening, everybody. And then later that night, we are going to do a meetup in Nashville for cocktails and a fancy pants dinner. So I got to prepare all of that, doing a basic and advanced stock trading course. So one would be on, I think, sort of the normal sort of business cycles and, trading risk on and risk off through stock indices and other means. So I need to design a course for that, but then that leads to portfolio construction and management. So that's being done. And I started my book, by the way. Let's see, do I have, oh, I don't have it on my, maybe I do on my phone. Let's see. You want to see this? Oh, it's on my phone. Boo, boo, doo, boo. Huh? What do you think? Is that easier to see? Neat, right? So it's not the final, but it's a start. So trying to get that going. Yeah, Johnny. Yeah. That one is how you move from poor to rich to wealthy. Poor, that's the name of the book, Poor, Rich, Wealthy. So consider it personal finance. The idea is that your money eventually should live forever and finance future generations and change the lineage of your entire family. But most people don't know how to go from poor to rich. That's their big thing. I've been lucky enough to have done that. I've gone from poor to rich. But then you meet most rich people and they don't have it figured out. Most rich people don't do the right things. They're not really, they make a lot of money and they have a lot of shit, but they suck at, they're not good with their money. They have a lot of money, but they're not good with it. You know, like most rich people are heavily in debt, you know? So you're like, dude, these guys, they're crazy, right? You're like, I follow them on Instagram. They go on vacations and they got a boat and a lake house and fancy cars and fancy clothes. And you're like, yeah, but they're dead broke. Oh, but they make like $400,000 a year. Uh-huh, they're broke. So, so how do you go from rich to wealthy? And so I will write about that because I know a lot of rich people who are not wealthy. And it's a mirage, it's a facade. And then our society has moved from greed to envy, so it's getting worse. Remember in the 80s, greed is good, greed is right, greed works. Now it's envy. And the weird thing about envy is it's destructive. Like greed means you're, in a weird way, you're focused. But envy, it's destructive. It's really, it's a really bad place, to wish you could have a lot of money so you can live the lifestyle that your neighbors are living. And you're like, oh, it's not the right focus, especially if you decide, and by the way, society, maybe not our current society, but maybe our future society, but I've seen other situations in other societies where envy leads to destructiveness. So you can say, well, I can't have what they have, so I will destroy what they have. Kind of like kicking the mirror off of a Lamborghini because you can't have a Lamborghini, right? So anyways, so there is a process. I want you to move from poor to rich, don't get me wrong, but then I want you to manage your money properly so that you move from rich to wealthy. And your wealthiness is much different than rich. There's a huge difference between rich and wealthy. Okay? Right. And Walt is like, yeah, greed is wanting everything, every good thing, right? But envy it's so different. I think it's dangerous. Like greed, let's say greed isn't necessarily good, but there's a certain, there's obviously a certain excess. Oh, by the way, look at oil. I got out of that short. Good job, huh? Good job. See, that's exactly how you take a loss, everybody. But anyway, so there is a difference. That's all I mean, right? There is a difference, and people want to move. Not in general, but I guess what I'm saying is there's this false wealth. This idea that lots of money makes you wealthy. No, it does not. Lots of money makes you rich. Okay? So I definitely want to discuss, once you have a lot of money, what do you do with it? And most people do the wrong thing. And the classic example is, if you're good with money, you do want to accumulate assets. There's no doubt about it. But I'll buy the lake house and the boat and the jet ski and the sports car when the economy is in the toilet and people are selling these things at half price or even less. Which means somebody is running out of money because they lost their job. So now they can't afford the lake house, they can't afford the jet ski, they can't afford the boat, they can't afford the Porsche, so now they got to sell the Porsche for half price. And that is indicative of not being wealthy. And now a wealthy person has spare excess money to say, well, the economy sucks. The economy's in the toilet. People have lost their jobs. But I have some cash where I can buy the lake house for 50% off. And it won't impact my life. There's a big difference. Now, how do you get there? It's what you do with your money. You have to evolve from rich to wealthy. There is a difference. And it's not the amount. So I think it'll be an interesting book. I already have like it all chaptered out. I think it's 14 chapters. I think it'll be a really good book. Honestly, I look at it and I'm like, I think this is going to be interesting. No, but I'm not talking about timing of markets and stuff like that. I'm not talking about trading. I'm talking about personal finance. So like, think of it this way: how to get money, what to do with your money so that your money makes more money. So your money becomes perpetual. In perpetuity, perpetualism. So like, what do you do if you don't have any money? What do you do when you have money? And how do you have your money make more money? How do you move from a vicious cycle to a virtuous cycle? And I'm literally going to talk about these things, not business cycles, but vicious and virtuous cycles. Cool, right? Wow, I'm so happy I got out of that trade. Now I just need the S&P 500 to go up. It's doing all right. How far are we from the open? I guess I got to go soon. I got to do the open. Richard says invest into income producing assets. Well, but again, it's the process. How do you go? Literally, what are the steps to go from poor to rich? And then once you got that down, what are the steps to go from rich to wealthy? Like, what are all the mistakes rich people make? And what are all the solutions? What should you do so that you just tiptoe through rich and into wealthy? Of course, the more time you have, the better. So for some people, they can stabilize their life so that they do have income when they retire, but then they're going to give this book to their grandkids and like say, you need to follow this and start now. The one thing I like about money is that you can put everything into a spreadsheet and say, when I'm 72 and a half years old, I will have $6.83421 million. You know, you see, like stuff like that where you're like, well, what are your variables? How much time? What's the rate of growth? And what did you start with? So you're like, well, I can do $1,000 a month into, you know, this, that, and the other thing over this amount of time. And it spits out the answer at the end. It's like, How much is an apartment building worth? I can tell you to the penny what an apartment building is worth. Now, it doesn't tell us the price, it tells us the value. Someone might be able to pay more for it, but their cost of capital is less. So it changes the equation for them, but there's still this, what's the value of money and how much money does this asset produce? And you can do a calculation to the penny. So the same sort of thing is, how much money are you going to start with? How much money are you going to put in every month? How many months are you going to contribute into this? On average, what's the growth rate? And you can go 10, 15, 20, 30 years into the future and get the number and go, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Yeah, well, you better get started, right? But you might find, so Richard says income producing assets. A lot of people might say, well, that's real estate. Well, it really depends. Depends on how much money you have. If you have a lot of money, like millions and millions, you're like, well, I can sink 5 million into this project. Okay, well, that's different from someone that has maybe, 2 million in a retirement account. Well, you don't really want to take 2 million out of your retirement account or 1 million and put it into real estate. And then, especially if you don't have experience in real estate, and $1 million doesn't buy you a lot of real estate. And so what's the risk reward? How much work? Maybe you should be interested in a real estate investment trust, or maybe some other income producing thing. Like my fund, for example, might give you the real estate like returns without any headaches. And with liquidity. The problem with real estate is it's illiquid. It's worth a lot of money until it's not worth a lot of money. And when it's worth a lot of money, you'll never sell it because it's worth too much money. It's going up 10% a year. You'll never sell it. And then when it drops 50%, well, you can't sell it now. It's dropped 50%. And that's, it's all this, you're locked into this thing where maybe you'd prefer liquidity, especially if you're 70 years old. You don't want to be locked into a 30-year mortgage when you're 70, So, like it all depends, but you're on the right track. So anyways, so those are the three sections of the book. Poor, rich, wealthy, and it's how to transition from all of those. Story of my life, take her home, drive all night to keep her warm in time. Yeah. All right, so the stock market's opening soon. I think I gotta go. Yo. I hope the stock market goes up. Please go up, stock market. I want the yield on the 10-year to come down today. That would be nice. Okay, but most of you are risk on today, so that's really cool. So thank you for all the hard work that you're putting into your trading career. It's a big deal. It should change everything if you have the right focus. And the right focus to me is looking at your trading like a business, and you want to build a business that is sustainable. The focus should not be getting rich quick. It should be sustainability. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And I will see you at 4 o'clock if you're in my day trading group. Have a wonderful day. I miss you already. That was real. Nice.